Last year was the inaugural year of OWCS, a revitalized version of Overwatch League, now managed by FACEIT, and whilst I didn't watch every moment of it, I have to say, it was pretty good. From OGs doing what they're best at, to freshers like PGE showing us what the rookies are capable of, it was all around entertaining. However, with Season 2 of OWCS coming up, things are looking interesting. There's roster changes that will cause rivalries amongst teams, and even some teams straight up not returning. In this video, I'm going to explain why the second season of OWCS could potentially be one for the books due to everything we know about it so far. I'll get into it in a minute, but first I'm going to ask you to subscribe, as I want to keep making content like this that isn't only entertaining, but informative too. We're nearing that 1k sub milestone, and it'd be super cool if we could reach it early into 2025. Now, let's talk about the changes to OWCS. Right off the bat, I think it's important that we talk about changes to rosters and teams that are going to be returning to OWCS, as we've had a couple of bombshells dropped over the past few weeks. In a surprising turn of events, both ENCE and Shock are disbanding. ENCE aren't coming back because of quote-unquote financial issues and not making the partner team program despite having a pretty decent run last year, and Blizzard unfortunately declined Shock a partnership, even after an amazing year in sales of both skins and physical merchandise like jerseys. It's a shame we won't see two of the biggest teams in the league return, because not only were they fan favourites, but they were bloody good at what they did, with Shock earning 78.5k in winnings and ENCE earning 170k in winnings. This is going to have a rather negative impact on the viewership of the league, as these teams aren't returning, meaning, well, I don't have to spell it out for you, do I? It's not the end of the world, it just means that things are going to be a little bit different. Speaking of different, we've got to talk about the changes to the rosters of some of the teams, because to say they were unexpected is a huge understatement. The one that surprised me the most is that Twisted Minds have somehow bagged Hardy and Funny Astro, dropping Bliss and McD, but keeping UB for god knows whatever reason. If you don't know why this is such a big deal, it's because last year SSG and TM had a bit of a rivalry, all thanks to KSA and UB being on the opposite team. This drama is kinda rabbit holey, so to sum it up in layman's terms, UB basically shit-talked the rest of his team while simultaneously being the diff, which caused KSA to join SSG and then proceed to wipe the floor with UB's face in the lower semis of EMEA Stage 4 last year. It was hilarious. Please go watch the VOD after this video if you can, because I was just pissing myself the entire time. It was amazing. All of this is pretty interesting and is gonna make the upcoming season stand out from last season. But you know what else is gonna make this season stand out from last season? China.
China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China. China.
That's right, after just under 3 years of the game being suspended in China, Blizzard and NetEase have renewed the service agreement, allowing Chinese players to play Overwatch once again and enter the league in 2025. You might think that there will be a massive disadvantage having not played the game in a while, but I assure you, the Chinese players are just built different, and this won't be as big of a hindrance as you might think. Because of this new region joining the league, there will now be 3 live events. Stage 1 will be Champions Clash in Korea in April, Stage 2 will be Mid-Season Championship in Saudi Arabia in July, and Season 3 will be the World Finals at DreamHack in Stockholm in November. There's been some controversy regarding the Mid-Season Championship being held in Saudi Arabia for some, pretty obvious reasons, but I think that all of these events will be excellent regardless. But that just about does it for this video. The only other big change that they're making is that hero bans are being introduced, which I talked about briefly in a previous video. In case you missed it, teams will get to ban 1 hero each, with the ban impacting both teams. For the team banning a hero second, the ban must be from a different role, so for example, if one team bans Mauga, the other team has to ban either a support or a DPS. This is going to make the season so much more fun. It got kinda repetitive watching the same Mauga Reaper comp in the finals because it felt very Truman Show-like, just watching the same game over and over again. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as it lets me know that you've enjoyed it and want to see more. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure you check out some of my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.